I'm Gloria Maggio for Pitt Community College English as a Second Language program. Once you feel ready to transition into a curriculum program, you first have to take a placement test, and all of the information you need to take that test is right here in the Warren Building. Placement Testing Center, speaking with Coordinator Sharon Series. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. Now, once our students place out of our program, they have to take some sort of a placement test in order to move further on at the college. What is the purpose of that test?
Well, what the test does is it assesses students in English, math, and computer skills. It determines their skill level in each of those areas so that we can place them in the appropriate courses so that the students will be successful here at PCC. This is particularly important for when they get to their upper level coursework, especially those courses that require heavy intensive skills in math, English, and computer skills. This way students will be the most successful they can be here.
And I'm glad you mentioned the math and the computer skills. We, of course, are English as a second language, but we do touch on math. We have some courses in math, but computers especially seems to be a recurring theme because that's the wave of the future, and it's actually the present, isn't it?
That is correct. Most courses here at PCC, whether they're online courses or face-to-face courses, are going to require students to have some sort of computer skills. Whether it's typing up their assignments, submitting assignments through our Moodle, which is our online system, or other areas of research that they'll be required to do, even if the course isn't an online course.
Now, if I were going to take a test, I would want to know something about what's on the test and how to study for it. Can you talk about that at all?
Yes, ma'am, and we actually recommend that. Students who do look at the study materials beforehand tend to do better on the test and tend to be happier with their placement. We do have some official study guides. The official study guides were developed by the testing company who developed the test. So there's an official study guide for the multiple choice sections, the math multiple choice, the English multiple choice sections, as well as an essay study guide, because there is an essay component to this exam. There's also a free app that the testing company offers that allows students to go in and see some sample questions for each area. So that assists them as well with studying. We also have a course that we call ACE. It's called Achieving College Entry. It's a facilitated session, so there is an instructor in the session with them, and students will be assessed in that session, their first day there, to see exactly what skills they need to brush up on for placement testing, and they'll be working in that class on those specific skills to get those skills ready to take the placement test. And that is done through basic skills. And any student who is interested in ACE or any of our study materials is welcome to come visit us in our office. We'll help them get that material. We can hand out the hard copies of the official study guides, but all the materials are also available online on our website. So students can download and print out the study materials on the website. They can also access the free app on our website. We'd be glad to assist any student who's having trouble accessing that free app. If they want to come into our office, we'll be glad to help them with that.
Now, I know we talked a little bit about the different areas that are covered on the test. Can you give us any example question maybe? You were saying that there are word problems for math. I know that.
There are. The math section, a lot of the math is application problems. So there are going to be some word problems. There are going to be some charts and graphs that students are going to have to be able to interpret. The math test is designed to align with our developmental math curriculum. So each area of the test is a specific skill set that is aligned specifically to those DMA classes, those developmental math classes. So students are going to see questions on fractions and decimals, operations with integers, ratios, percents. Those are going to be some of our pre-algebra questions. There's also going to be an algebra sort of area where students will see questions ranging from inequalities to graphs of lines and equations of lines and quadratic equations.
What kind of computer applications might they need to know?
And that's a little bit trickier to actually study for, because what that test is really trying to gauge is where the student's current skills are in a computer. So the computer test is going to ask several different kinds of questions, such as how do you save a file, how do you properly turn off a computer, may have some questions about Microsoft Word and Microsoft PowerPoint and Excel on there as well.
Which programs at PCC, if they were going to go into a program after ESL, require the placement test? I know they don't all require it, but most of them do.
All the curriculum classes are going to require that. So any course that is a 2-year program or a degree is going to require students to take the placement test. Some of the certificate programs do require it. Not all of the certificate programs require testing. But any of the 2-year degrees here, whether it's a transfer degree or it's a degree in a specific area, is going to require a student to take a placement test. Any courses that the student are going to take that are curriculum level that require a prerequisite of math or English or computers, CISO 70 is the computer course, will require a student to take the placement test. And a prerequisite, what that means is that that course requires students to take a course prior to taking the course they're looking into. So English 111. If the student wants to take English 111, the prerequisites on that course are some of our DREs, which are developmental reading and Englishes. So the students, before they take English 111, they have to either take or place out of, based on placement testing, those DRE courses before they can take English 111.
And I think it's important to note that those DRE courses have a cost associated with them.
They do. They do have a cost associated with them. Students do have to enroll and pay for those courses. They do have to pay for the books for those courses. And the same thing with the DMAs, which are the developmental math and Englishes, and CISO 70, which is the developmental computer course.
Okay, now this test we're talking about is not just a requirement at PCC. This is a statewide thing, or the various tests that they might have to take.
This particular test is called NCDAP. That is a statewide test. So the state has come in and developed this test. It was developed, as I alluded to earlier, to align with our developmental math and English courses. So it's testing on those specific skills that the state has deemed are necessary in both college level and the developmental math and English courses. So this is a statewide test. Students should be able to take this particular exam at any of the North Carolina community colleges. If for some reason they don't live local or they're not going to be in the area when they need to take their test, they can take it at another North Carolina community college and request for their scores to be sent here. They would just need to check with the other college what their policy is, because not all schools will administer testing to students who are not enrolled in their programs.
Now, this is just the one test. This is all encompassing of the math, the English, the computer components. They're all in that one test, right?
They are, however, the computer skills test, we attach it to that test, so students will take it in a test session with us. However, that is a local requirement here at PCC. Not all schools require computer skills testing within the North Carolina Community College system, and even those who do require, the test that we administer here for computer skills is sort of essentially a homegrown test, which means it was developed here at PCC by the Information Systems Technology Department. So it is a test that's unique to our school.
Thank you for being with us, Sharon Series.
Thank you so much for having me.
And remember, we want all of our students to be successful, and you have many resources available to you, like the Placement Testing Center. For the English as a Second Language program at PCC, I'm Gloria Maggio.